I have been testing and testing and testing products, you guys. I have so many products here to give you some reviews on, and I have some bad news. I have some bad news, some unfortunate news, but I also have some great things. I've found some really nice things, and I want to get into it all. So there's like 35 plus products in here. I'm gonna leave timestamps so you can kind of go wherever you want to in case there's a specific product, but this is like most of the hot new makeup on the market right now. So I feel like there's a little something for everyone. So we're gonna get started with a fail, okay? Sorry. I should have actually known this was going to be a fail, but this is the Kosas BB Burst, and this is a tinted gel cream. I was really excited about this. I had someone specifically want to see this, and I felt like this didn't get that much hype. It didn't get an app exclusive moment, you know what I mean? Like, it did not feel very hyped. So I was like, let's get this. This might be amazing. Like, I do like the concealer. You know, there are foundation products from Kosas that I like, so I felt like maybe this is it. Unfortunately, no. I don't think this wouldn't work for anyone, but this is like the exact same texture, smell, consistency, like everything as the Dream Beam, and that's their sunscreen that came out, and I did not like that. I did not like that product. I didn't like the texture. I felt it to be greasy, and I feel like this is greasy. This is like a greasy tinted gel cream, and I was really hoping for more of like a foundation-y type thing. It's slight, but there's something a little off-putting about this foundation's texture to me. It's like simultaneously like jelly and fluffy. Like, I don't know how that's possible, but that's kind of what it is. It's just not my thing for texture alone. As for coverage, it gives decent coverage. I like it actually, I think, with a brush best, and I do find that overall it sits pretty well on my skin. I think I have me putting it on with my fingers, and that looks okay, but I feel like this looks best on bare skin, so really no primer, and then with a brush for me. Kind of a weird combo, but it's just that it gets so oily. Like, we're already starting out greasy, we're already starting out dewy, which if you have dry skin, this might be something that really works for you. If you like the Dream Beam from them, then I think you might like this. It has just that little bit of tint, you know, but I am not a fan. I will say, you know, I have not the best skin. I have textured skin, I have pores, I have dry flaky bits, but I'm also like a greasy bitch. So, you know, there's a lot going on. I'm asking a lot, honestly, for any foundation to be on this face. But as much as this isn't for me, I will say that over the course of wearing it, I didn't find that it really emphasized the dry patches, which I thought was really great. Some of my favorite tinted moisturizers or skin tints, I feel like even though they look great initially, still kind of have that problem, and I felt like it wasn't really happening with this, so that's a positive. But this is a bust. I would give it a thumbs down. I'm gonna try to be like thumbs down, thumbs up in the middle, which mid is not bad, but you know. Anyway, this gets a thumbs down for sure. I'm gonna hit you with some of the disappointments just off the bat to really break the bad news first. We'll sandwich after that, but let's talk about some of the bad things. I was so excited for these Make Beauty eyeshadows, you guys. I really wanted to love these. I love a little single potted eyeshadow, and so I picked up 3. Glad I only picked up 3. These are the Multi-Chromatic Metal Reflecting Eyeshadows. I picked up the shade Gleam, Quartz, and Glaze. First off, I do really love the packaging. It's actually huge. Like, this is a huge eyeshadow. This could be a small blush, to be honest. There's 4 grams of product in here, and for comparison, in the Urban Decay eyeshadow, this is just the Moondust one. This has 1.8 grams of product. This has 4 grams. So it's not even just like a big pan, like it looks like a big pan. The product is here, and these are $24. So I was kind of shocked when I got them for that reason. And then inside, they're kind of this like mixed pressed pigment. It's like speckled or tie-dyed looking, and the thing with this, they do call them metal reflecting, and you do get that. So if you want like a metal foiled eyeshadow, this might be something for you, but I find that these are just really thick in texture. Like, they're a thicker, creamy formula, but nonetheless still thick. And so the best way for these to look, I think, is to really pack them on, go for that full pigment. And that's not necessarily the look I'm doing every day. I've worn Glaze the most because of that. I believe this is the lightest color as well. And so this I can like sweep over, but I really like to buff it out with my finger. So when I put this on, I'll like tap it on and then really like rub my finger and try to rub it out, because I find if I layer this too much, which I think gives it the most shine and the most opacity, it also gets a little scaly. It's just a little heavy on my eyelids as they currently are, so I don't love the look of that. And I feel like with these shadows, I learned not only do I not like that thicker, like more traditional metal foiled eyeshadow that's, yes, creamy, but again, kind of thick. I don't love that texture, but I also don't know if I really love the metal foil sheen either. I think you can definitely make these look really beautiful, and if you love a full pigment look, if you love something that's like dripped looking, or you like to really spray your brush and get that full opacity lid, these might be for you. But I just didn't love them. These do have a bit of a duochrome effect to them, but mostly it's just that the base is darker than what the shimmer is. The shine on all these is so bright and just strong overall and very like light compared to the base. And so again, I feel like you see that best when you really build up the shadow, but if I don't do that, then it's kind of just a darker base on me. I have tried just like using a really fluffy brush, kind of putting these on and seeing how that looks, and I can make it look more everyday that way, but then I get like no shine. Like there's no shine coming off, there's no sparkle, there's no anything, and I just find them to not be my preference and to not really be flattering on me no matter which way I put them. I just have so many better eyeshadows and singles, and I mean, we know I have a ton of eyeshadows that I just don't find these special at all, and I was ready to love them, to fall madly in love with them, but these are a bust for me. I give them a thumbs down. I'm sorry. All right, next, continuing on with the bad news, I've continued trying out the Fenty We're Even concealer. I had high hopes the first time I used it. Actually, the first couple of times I used it, I didn't notice anything bad, and I think it's because of the foundation I was using underneath it, but this thing has done me so dirty. First off, I keep getting these like plastic pieces coming like off. Don't know what's going on with that. As much as I love the doe foot on this, it doesn't matter how much I use, it's always like too much, and my under eye starts getting really opaque, really crinkly, just out of control in a way. Like, I swear to you, I hate to say, I feel like I look like Teddy Perkins when I wear this. And that's not the look I'm going for at all. It just kind of like always goes right up to under my eyes, and it just looks very unnatural. It doesn't sit well. I was actually out to lunch with a friend. She's a YouTuber, Ishani, or Total Makeup Junkie 101. And I was like, do I look okay? Like, is everything looking okay? Because I was testing tons of products and we were out, and she's like, yeah. I was like, what is it? And my under eye was just patchy. It doesn't self-set. I felt like that was part of it because it's hydrating, but also like 24 hours. And I'm just not getting it. I don't know if it's the products I'm layering under it. I still, like, even though I'm saying here, like, yikes, watch out, I don't know if I would get this, I do still want to like try it. I want to use like a microscopic amount and see. I have the shade 120N, and I don't know if that's too light for me. I don't know what's going on, you guys, but I have not been able to make this work. And I've tried a lot of the new concealers. I've tried the Haus Labs one. I really like that one. I've tried the Tower 28. I really like that. You guys know I like the Natasha Denona, although I do like that one a little bit more for overall on my face. This is just not doing it, and for $30, I don't personally think it's worth it. I will say in general, my under eyes, just my skin, I feel like I'm just going through it. A lot of stuff is changing, and I'm really needing to figure out like what products and types of products work for me now, but I don't think this is it, so I give this one a thumbs down. Give it a thumbs down. Okay, I promise there are some things I like though. About 800 million lip products have come out, and I have a lot of them. So let's talk first about these Summer Fridays lip oils. This is the Dream Lip Oil, and I have 2 of the 4 shades. These retail for $26. Highly anticipated launch for me. You guys know I love the lip butter balms, and so a lip oil from them I felt like made sense. Like, you know, we trust them with the lip butters, and all that to say, I feel like our relationship's complicated on these. When I first got them, again, so excited. These have a pretty big doe foot on them, and there's like a dollop of product right on the end of the doe foot, and it was a thinner texture than I imagined. And I don't know why, because it is a lip oil. It's still bouncy, it's still plush, but definitely on the thinner side, while still being able to have a little bit of that cushion. So that kind of threw me off initially, and also just the way this doe foot is, I don't know how to explain it. The felt on it, it's pretty long, like it's kind of a long felt, and everything but the end kind of stays a little dry. I just don't love that. That's like such a small textural detail, but that all went into the first impression. And I also have to say the packaging, like as much as it's clean and cute, it's just kind of big and bulky, and I don't know if I love that. So that was all my first impression. I was like, okay. And since then I have grown to like them more. They do leave a little bit of a tingly feeling. It's kind of minty, but they don't taste minty at all. So that's like a little unexpected. I feel like it doesn't burn by any means. It's more like you just brush your teeth and your toothpaste is leaving like a cooling feeling on your lips or something. I think they're nice overall. Don't get me wrong. I'm like pretty happy with them. I think the pink cloud color is my favorite. Soft mauve is nice too. I like them best without a lip liner actually, just because they're kind of pigmented on their own. You get a lot of product on the doe foot initially, so I like to kind of use almost half that product just for my lips personally. They're glossy, they stay on nice. I don't know, I think they're solid. but I'm not as in love with them as I thought I was gonna be, which I find kind of interesting. At this point, if you ask me like, should I get the lip oil or should I get the butter balm? I would say the butter balm. I'm still like more partial to that. I like the packaging. I think they have fun colors. I like the feel. I like the smells. Like, I just prefer those. They're technically a little cheaper at $24. So I give this like a mid product to me right now, which I was fully expecting to be head over heels for this. So I give that like in the middle. Not a bad thing at all. I think people could love these for sure. Could be someone else's favorite. They're just not mine, and they have a lot of competition right now. But speaking of the lip butter balms, I did want to give a shout out to the limited edition color that came out recently from Summer Fridays. This is Birthday Cake, and it does have shimmer to it. So none of the other lip butter balms had a shimmer to it, but this one does. And I'm happy to say I don't feel any texture from the like shimmer particles in here. So I'm very happy about that. I think this color is so fun. It can get a little frosty if you put too much on, but I don't find that to be a problem. A little bit of lip liner, a little bit of this. I think it is beautiful. You could even add a little bit of a tint on underneath and then go in with that. I think that's pretty too. I'm just a sucker for these. I think they're so fun. And it does seem with their limited edition flavors that they don't come back, because the iced coffee flavor that came out for holiday, I haven't seen anything. Hopefully it comes back. But what I'm trying to say with the limited edition, no pressure, obviously. You don't need any of this stuff. You don't need anything. But if you did want it, it might be better to get it sooner rather than later. I know it's sold out on Sephora right now. I'm not sure if it's going to come back, but I know it's at Revolve. It might be on their website. So definitely a fun one. This one's a thumbs up from me. I'm going to continue on with some of the lip balms for a little bit because, like I said, there's so many. And I want to talk about the lip softies from Tower 28. These were sent to me in PR, and there are 5 different ones. One's clear, and then there's 4 different colors. These retail for $16, so they're definitely a great price point. Tower 28 is just a more affordable brand at Sephora, so I really love that about them. They're always keeping the price point a little bit lower than everything else. I love the tints on these. I also really love the smells. Each one of these has a different flavor. So there's ube vanilla, there's watermelon kiwi, dulce de leche, and blood orange vanilla, and then the clear one's just called SOS. I want so badly to give these only a positive review. I thought for sure these would be like easy grab and go for me. I also really like the packaging. Like, I feel like it's a more affordable packaging, which helps with the price point, but I don't mind having this kind of Carmex lip balm tube. It's maybe not the most precise overall, maybe not my favorite entirely, but I get it with the price, and I think it's kind of fun and makes them a little bit different. That being said, I know a lot of people like these. I don't know what it is, but these are kind of weirdly gritty on my lips, and it's like every single one I've tried, and I don't mean gritty like the way glitter or shimmer can be. How do I explain this? It's almost like I put this on dry, crusty lips, but just enough of that is like gunking off into the product. So now it's no longer crispity, crunchity chunks. It's kind of softened little chunks. It's just not a smooth apple. It's just not smooth, guys. It's not smooth on my lips. I don't know why. I don't know why. And the product itself, like the actual formulation of these, is also quite thin, like way thinner than I expected. And so I don't know, I don't hate them, and I don't know if like maybe mine are gritty and other people's aren't, or maybe I'm more sensitive. I don't know what it is, but I just thought these were going to be way more plush, and I just would not describe them that way. They're just thinner, and they don't feel really great on my lips. They really don't. I feel like, you know, it's almost like those masks or like cleansers or whatever you put on your face, and then the more you rub them, the more it like balls up and it feels like it's your skin. These almost feel like the beginning stages of that, like in a ratioed size to my lips, if that makes any sense. So I don't love that about them. Absolutely love the scents though. I don't want to like bash them. I'm not saying I wouldn't even use them, but definitely not my favorite. But if you like the dulce de leche, like color-wise, it looks so good. I also love the kiwi one, like color-wise, it looks so good. But the dulce de leche smells exactly to me like the iced coffee in the butter balm that I literally was just talking about. It's kind of like a caramely scent to me. It wasn't as iced coffee as the name implied. So I love the scent of these. I really wish I got on with these better. I want to give these a mid, but like if I'm being realistic, I don't think I like these. I really don't. I mean, I know I don't like them, but I don't want to not like them, but they really don't do it for me. And I know that especially when I talk about this next lip balm, which is from OleHenriksen. I don't know if all 4 of these shades came out recently, but I did pick up Cocoa Cream. These are $22, and you guessed it, it's a tubey squeezy lip balm. I feel like I really need to dedicate a video to just these squeezy tube lip balms because they're really trying to take over the world. They really are. Anyway, Cocoa Cream is the one I picked up from this new launch, but I do have one that came out for holiday. It was like limited edition. Lingonberry, I have a feeling it's not pronounced that way, but these are amazing. These are like my favorite, some of my favorite ones that I've tried. These feel so plush and cushiony on my lips without being sticky really. Like they're thick, don't get me wrong, but the way the thickness is done, it really just feels like it hugs my lips. It kind of adds a plumpness and it gives me like a smooth kind of cushion. A very luxe formula to me. I really love them. I think the tints on these are great. I mean, don't overdo it. I think if you put too much on your lips, it might feel a little bit like too much, but even in tinier amounts, I think it feels just as cushiony, just so good. So good. I like the way it wears as well. I just think this formula nailed it. It really nailed it. I like the applicator as well. It's like a gummy one, but it's completely flat. I just think if you're sleeping on these, they're so good. The only thing I'll say is that the cocoa cream shade, I really wanted this to smell like cocoa or smell good, but it really doesn't. It has almost the Tower 28 blood thing going on. If you haven't been here, like, what are you talking about? But I just find the Tower 28 glosses have almost a metallic-y, I don't know, a mineral-y taste to me. And this has a little bit of that smell, a little bit of that taste, but it's not overpowering and it doesn't last. So there's that. But otherwise, actual formula, I still would wear this. It's not like giving it a ding actually to me. I just feel like it was a missed opportunity to not have the cocoa cream smell like cocoa. Like what? But so good. These are the ones to try. I'm telling you. So good. Okay, it's time to talk about these Milk Makeup Jelly Water Blushing Tint things, okay? These blushes are everywhere. They are super viral and everyone wants to eat them, okay? I don't know how many comments I have gotten being like, I want to take a bite out of them. I want to eat them. Don't eat your makeup. Anyway, these were sent to me in PR and I have to say, I do like these. I really do like these. I think these are fun. It's an innovative formula. I feel like it works, although I do think there's a little bit of a learning curve. But before we get into that, I mean, look at these. They are literal jelly. They're cooling as well. I just think that is so fun. And I don't know if this is the first brand ever to do it. I can totally imagine like a K-beauty brand out there that's like been doing something like this. But nonetheless, I think it's a fun launch for summer and for spring. And I think it's a really great one for Milk as well. Like I said, they're a jelly consistency, but then they leave kind of this tint or stain on the cheeks or the lips, depending on where you want to use them. And I feel like the learning curve on this is that I do not recommend just putting this straight onto the cheeks. These dry down very, very fast. If you do that and you aren't prepared, you might be left with a little bit of a streak on your face, and we don't like that. That's not what we're going for. I also don't suggest just swiping it on necessarily, because around the jelly, I feel like some liquid, especially when I first got them, there was like liquid kind of around it, and that was very, very pigmented, whereas like the jelly part itself has a lot less pigment on it. And if you get a little bit of that juice like on your swipe, you're gonna have a place that's a little bit darker or like more pigmented there. And then again, it sets so fast, it's gonna be really hard to blend out. So my favorite way to use these is actually just with a brush. I'll tap the brush on and blend it out that way, and I find I get a really pretty like watercolor kind of tint on my cheeks. It's really bright. All of these are like a juicy, bright flush of color, which again, I think is so pretty for spring and summer. I really love that kind of popsicle look, and you definitely get that kind of look on the cheeks and on the lips with this thing. But it's really easy to use the brush and then apply and have a little bit more control over how that product goes on. It kind of sucks that the brush gets rid of the cooling feeling because the jelly itself is cool, but if everything's going right, you're never touching the actual product to your face, so I don't really get the benefits of that or the fun novelty of that, but I will take it because I genuinely like the blush look of it. So to me, these kind of check off a lot of boxes. They're fun, they're kind of innovative, they're colorful, they're good going into the next season, and I know there's a lot of buzz about them, but I feel like if the kind of points I've mentioned about these blushes sound good to you, I think you have a high chance of really liking them. My favorite colors are Chill and Burst. Chill to me is like kind of a reddy kind of coral color, so it's the warmer shade for me. Burst, I get a little bit more of that cooler, brighter pink. I do find Burst and the shade Splash a little bit similar, but Splash is more of a deeper berry and not as bright of a pink as Burst, but overall, I'm pretty happy with this. I think it's fun. Not for everyone. Again, a little bit of that learning curve, but I've been enjoying them, and they last so long on the cheeks because they're a stain. They last really well on my lips, and I love just topping a gloss. So these are a win. Thumbs up. Let's talk about a few skincare items. Switch it up, kind of move around here, but this one is from Rhode, and it's the Pineapple Refresh Daily Cleanser. This retails for $28, and this is like a balm to a lather. So when you squeeze it out, it's like a liquidy balm. It's yellow, and then as you use it on the face and add a little bit of water as you go, it does kind of lather into a creamy, milky kind of consistency consistency. You never get like real suds, at least to me. I don't really get a sudsy feeling from this, but I feel like it works really nice for a daily cleanser. It doesn't leave my skin feeling stripped. I feel like it's been pretty solid. I usually use this after I've already cleansed off my makeup with like an oil cleanser. So I haven't put this to like the test for specifically makeup removal, but overall I've been enjoying it. It has a bit of a pineapple-y smell, at least at the beginning. The one con to me is like as I like rub it in, it starts taking on like bar of soap, like Dove bar of soap smell, and I don't really like that. Like I wish the pineapple smell, that sweeter pineapple smell just kind of was throughout the whole thing, but that's not what happens to me. It's nice, it's solid, I've been enjoying it. I give it, again, this is where the mid, it sounds negative, but it's not negative, it's just like, it's just solid, you know what I mean? Like, I think this is solid. The other cleanser I've been trying out, this one's from Tatcha, and it's the Matcha Cleanse, and this is a gel cleanser, and it's more specifically for oily skin. It's to help with like your pores, to help with oil control, and I do really like this. It's fragrance free. The gel consistency is clear, but it's kind of like a bouncy gel. It's very interesting. It reminds me of the same texture of the Glow Recipe Blueberry Bounce Cleanser, like a very similar texture to me, but this again has no fragrance. It does suds up a little bit, but nothing that strips my skin either, so I've really liked it. I really feel like my skin feels clean when I use this, but without that stripping, and I've been very careful about my skin barrier. I'm really trying to just be gentle, baby, be gentle on this face. So I've liked this. This is $40 though. This was sent to me in PR, and I'm appreciative because I feel like Tatcha makes some really great quality skincare products, just quality products in general, but I do feel like 40 is quite a bit for something this kind of basic. I've really liked the Peach and Lily, and that one's like 29, I want to say, and they're kind of similar as well, even in texture. It's like a gel, all of that. So I love it. I'm gonna use it for sure, but again, for the price for a cleanser, I'd probably want to spend a little more money on like actives or some serum with like a super awesome formula or like a specific formula than just a cleanser, but I still give it a mid. It's a mid. I like it. Another skincare product here. This is from Glow Recipe. It's a Cloudberry Bright Essence Toner. This is a very like watery toner. It comes with a pump though, which I think is really nice. Sometimes toners are like that shake, and I feel like a pump is just so much easier for me to use, so I really love that. This was sent to me in PR. I love the packaging. I like the idea of it. You guys know I love Glow Recipe, and I've been using it. It's kind of hard sometimes to get like true results, you know, in a review like this, because I feel like you need to use skincare a really long time, but I've enjoyed it. I feel like it sinks in really nice, and I really do like that watery kind of step. My skin loves the moisture, but I am oily, so it's nice to not add really anything that's gonna get more oily throughout the day. This is supposed to brighten. It's like a vitamin C kind of essence, and it's also supposed to even out your complexion, and I don't know if I noticed that. Maybe with like super consistent use I could see that, but overall I think it's nice. I don't know if this is the one you need. There are so many different ones out there. Again, I like another one from Peach and Lily. I like just a hydrating one from Youth to the People, but if you're looking for one with vitamin C, antioxidants, that type of thing, it might be something to try, and that one retails for $38. I want to talk about a product that I'm kind of like in the middle on, and I don't know if I like really like it or if it's like totally not working for me. Like, it's that extreme, and that's a new release from Glossier. This is the Full Orbit Hydrating Brightening Smoothing Eye Cream. I was really excited to see an eye cream from Glossier. I don't think they had one previous to this, but this retails for $28, which I feel like is a pretty good price for an eye cream for half an ounce of product. It's pretty affordable, and texturally I really like this. It's like a gel cream. I find it really hydrating, really bouncy on my under eyes. It looks really good. It feels really good too. It's definitely similar to the Belief one, which is one of my favorite eye creams, so I'm very happy with all of that, and I love that this is Full Orbit, so it's been like approved to be used all over the eye. Not all eye creams are, so just saying, but this one you can use like on your eyelid, all of that. So I love that about it, and I feel like overall my under eyes feel moisturized, especially when I'm using it, all that. But I've also noticed that I keep getting a couple spots like around my eyes, and I don't want to say for sure it's to this product because I was getting that a tiny bit before this, but I just feel like since I've been using this, and I've been using this almost a month now, I don't know, I'm like, is it you? Is it you? And I also feel like I've been having a bit more milia, and I don't know if that's something else because I feel like I'm kind of prone to milia, and it's not something that's uncommon necessarily for me, but I don't know. I don't know if it's this, I don't know if it's not this and it's something else. And I also just feel like in general my under eye is changing a lot, especially here. I just find products aren't laying as well. Like it's just, again, a little bit of a challenge, a little bit of something new to tackle and figure out for myself. So again, I don't want to say it's this when I don't know if it is. So this one's like in the air for me. I'm like, I don't know. And I was also looking at reviews on Sephora, and there were a lot of really great 5-star reviews, but a lot of those were gifted reviews. And then there were a lot of people being like, this is too intense. I had a lot of irritation, a lot of burning, a lot of puffiness. Like they were having issues. So I'm just like, I don't know. That didn't help me at all. That didn't help me figure it out at all. So I'm pretty torn on this one. I give it a mid, but for different reasons than the other mids, okay? I'd also love to know if you guys have tried this. What are your thoughts? Are you liking it? I'm so sad if this doesn't work because again, the texture is so wonderful and exactly that gel cream texture I love so much, but yeah, I don't know if this is right. All right, we took a detour from lips. We're going back. We're going back to the lippies. Let's talk about this Gucci gloss, okay? These launched right at the beginning of the year. I want to say maybe even toward the end of 2023, and I want to try them out. They're plumping, and I specifically picked up the shade Bertha Pink. I just really wanted to try it out. I've really loved the Gucci blush. I've been loving the Gucci bronzer. They've been good to me, and there was something kind of nostalgic about this pink specifically. I was like, I don't know, it looks milky, but not too milky, kind of a baby pink. And I have to say, I do like this product. It's $42. It's a high price point. It is designer makeup, which just naturally has that high price point. The doe foot's a little bit different. I haven't quite seen one like this. I kind of like the long, you know, doe foot. It makes it feel like a whole moment to put it on. That being said, this does have kind of a minty floral smell. I don't love that about it. That being said, this is like a thick gloss. It almost has that throwback feeling to the actual gloss itself. I don't want to call it sticky though. I don't find it extremely sticky, but it's definitely coating the lips. It really gives them a glassy kind of shine that's bubbled, you know, like it has that cushion to it, which I think is really nice. I think it gives a plump look just naturally because of that, but then it also has like a plumping in it. And this is a plumping that doesn't like immediately burn. It's like a slow creep of burning, and it's not super painful, at least not to me. But what it is, it's like you can feel your lips filling up with blood. You can feel them filling up with blood, and it's almost that like they become so tight and your lips are so engorged that it almost like hurts the skin around it, if that makes sense. That being said, I like this on the lips. It can get a little tacky the more you wear it as well, but I think it's nice. It's for who it's for. If you like the Lawless Forget the Filler lip product, that's also quite thick. It also kind of like fills in, gives you that glossy shine. I feel like this is pretty similar to that formula, but again, it has that kind of floral minty smell. I don't love that. I'm not crazy about that, but I feel like it does its job. I feel like my lips look plump when I wear this. I think one of the other brighter colors would be pretty too, because it's still pretty sheer, but with the kind of natural flush your lips are gonna get from the plumping, and with that color, I could see those being really juicy and pretty as well. So I like it. It's not gonna be for everyone though, especially for the price. So I guess it's kind of mid-high. The thumbs up, thumbs down, and middle thumb, it's just not complex enough for my life, okay? It's really not. Who am I kidding? Let's bust through a few more fave lip products. I really love the Laneige lip sleeping mask. I mean, this is the same formula of the other lip sleeping masks, but this one is in a cotton candy swirl, which is so fun. I've really enjoyed this. The color on it really doesn't show up on the lips unless you really goop it on, but if you don't do that, it just looks pretty normal overall. And I mean, the cotton candy flavor definitely got me. This is more like blue raspberry cotton candy if it was cotton candy. I also kind of get like a subdued blue icy from this scent as well. Definitely blue candy, okay? Definitely blue sugared candy. So I think it's really fun, really cute. I love the lip sleeping mask, so I thought that was nice, and that's $24. Another cotton candy lip product. I can't believe I can say that, but I love, like, please, I would love for that to be a trend. But from Too Faced, this is the Kissing Jelly Gloss, and it's a sweet cotton candy scent, and I love this. I think this texture is just really nice. It's an easy on-the-go lip product. Again, it's blue, but it's not gonna actually turn your lips blue. Super glossy. It is jelly and has that cushion, but it's a little bit thinner and gives more of that wet shine look, and I just love it. It's so easy to wear. It wears off so nicely. It just feels good. It feels, again, like a hug, but in a thinner way, but not as thin, I feel like, as the Summer Fridays, if that makes sense. But I love this. I would love to try other colors, and I think this is like $22, so I feel like it's a pretty reasonably priced Too Faced product, because as I talked about in my last video, the makeup I'm not surprised is on sale at Sephora. The Too Faced lip products are out of control. control. Some of those lip plumpers are like $33, and I mean, I can't stand it, and I also don't understand it, truly. Even if they are good, I'm just like, it's too much, stop it. But this one's really good. They have a pink one with shimmer. I kind of want to try that, but I love it. I think this is so good. Easy wear. Love it for every day. All right, on to the next lip product. This is the Haus Labs, and it has a long name, so let me try to get it right. PhD Hybrid Lip Glaze Gloss. That's what it is. I have the shade Macaroon here, and I also really love this. I might put this on right now because I've literally been here talking that long. A re-up on my lip product wouldn't be too bad. Now, this is supposed to be a plumping lip gloss, oil, glaze, like all these things together, but it's supposed to be plumping without the burn. So it doesn't have any tingling or anything like that. And I do think that this makes your lips look really plump, really full, really pretty. I think it has a nice medium thickness, so I don't find it as thin as maybe the Summer Fridays, but it's not too much thicker than that. But I feel like the look it gives on the lips is one more like those thicker lip products that really hug the lip and kind of smooth it out. I feel like you get that with this, even though it doesn't feel nearly as thick. Just a really beautiful formula. I feel like it's comforting. I can really see it being a lip oil and a gloss and like a balm, like all those things together. I really have been impressed by a lot of the formulas coming out of the Haus Labs range. I'm so happy we got that rebrand because I think we're getting some really nice luxe formulas out of the line now. And I feel like most people are gonna like this. So if you have a color that you like from the line, I think you're gonna love it. It's $26, definitely like a high quality, high performing product. I like the packaging, like everything about it I'm into. I think this might be the last lip product, if you can believe it, but this one is a big old fail, a big old fail. I hate this product. Well, hate's a strong word. It's just that this is defective and I don't know why that is. I don't know, again, if it's my product, maybe some other batches didn't have this happen. But anyway, this is the Fenty Cherry Lip Balm. Love the packaging. I think it's fun. It's a little bit innovative. And I love that it was just like a cherry chapstick. Retails for $16, which is a lot, don't get me wrong, but there's a bit of product in here. This has 5 grams. Your normal Burt's Bees has like 4, usually 4.25, something like that. So you're getting a decent amount of product, even though I feel like you will go through it for sure. Anyway, the issue with this, tell me why. You put this on texturally, grit, 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 grit. I don't know if whatever oils or whatever are in here have balled up or solidified or not mixed well, but this is not one consistency. It is multiple. So when you're putting it on, it's just like a really unsatisfying kind of off-putting texture doing that. But once you do that, if you kind of work through that, the heat of your lips will kind of melt those oils down so it doesn't stay gritty. I'm telling you, it's something about the product like in the tube didn't get mixed up or something. But once it's on, it kind of heats up, it kind of thins out in a way, it has a glossy shine to it. It feels nice after that. I like the feeling after that, but I really don't like the grittiness I'm feeling initially. So to me, that makes it a no. And also, one of the reasons I bought this is because I saw people talking about how this is like the Laneige lip sleeping masks, and I love the Laneige lip sleeping mask, okay? I love that texture. It's plush. It's really nice. It's really hydrating to me. But this is not like that, okay? Don't be fooled. Even once I melt all those different little bits down, it does not feel like the lip sleeping mask. This is definitely a thinner, a little bit more oily of a formula. Again, not bad. I don't mind it once it's melted down, but definitely not the same. Oh man, I totally lied. I have a lip liner here, but it's not like the other lip products, and you actually can't buy this anymore. This is kind of an update, okay? Because this came out with a set from Merit. It was like the Leg Gloss set, and I did pick that up because it had this lip liner in it, and I was very intrigued, and it also had a cream eyeshadow in it that had shimmer in it, which I was so excited by. And I was intrigued by this lip liner because it's glossy. This is a glossy lip liner, and I just don't know if I've really seen that. I don't know if it's completely innovative or not, but most of the lip liners you see are like cream. I'm not even saying they're matte, but they aren't like a glossy color, or this translucent. This is very sheer. It has like a translucent quality to it, and I was just so intrigued, like what the heck, how is this gonna work? And I was very skeptical, but I have to tell you, I think this is actually genius. I think this is so freaking good, and specifically this color, it just says sheer lip liner. At least for me, I'd love to see how this looks on other skin tones, but it's like a brown wine color, but again, it's so sheer that it really doesn't deepen up, and so I find it almost looks like one of those lip tattoos, or it almost looks like a shadow on my lip line. So I really love this for days when I don't want to look like I have a lip liner on. Like even for some of my favorite lip liners, it still looks like I have a lip liner on, especially in the daylight, and sometimes I just don't, I want a more natural look than that, and this really is giving that minimalist, like it looks like your lips because it really lets so much of your real lips shine through. I specifically love this, like, you know, after I've done foundation, lips are usually the last thing that I do for my face, and sometimes the barrier of where my lip is, where the rest of my face skin is, can be a little blurred, and I want to get that back a little bit. And this lets me do that by just tracing over, and I bring a little bit of that color back, the fullness back, because you can see the actual like outline of where my lips are. So you get the definition, but it looks so natural, and then you can go over with your lip oil or whatever you want to do for some gloss or whatever else. I find this stays on really nice, although it's glossy. It's not like an actual lip gloss. It's just so nice, and I feel like it gives it a nice glide. It's just so natural, and I feel like it's such a useful product. It really looks like a shadow, and it really looks like the after effect of one of those like stain tints that people do to line their lips. So very happy with this. I can't wait for them to actually come out with this product. I'm assuming these were just like teased in that set and they're like working on them. So if these come out in the future, you got to get them. They're so good. I will let you know. I'll keep my eye out. All right, let's talk about some eye things, because I have a lot of shadow sticks here. I was sent all of these from Kaja. These are the Dazzle Wink, I think they're called. Wink Dazzle, I'm sorry, but there's a shadow stick on one end, and then on the other end, it's kind of a sponge tip applicator, and it's like a glittery little shadow pot, basically. So you can kind of stamp that where you want after you use the cream shadow. I think the idea is really fun, and I love a shadow stick, but I don't necessarily love these. They're just not entirely right for me. I think there are people out there who might like them. If you want a natural look with some sparkly bits going on, I think this could work, especially if you have really dry eyelids or don't have oily eyelids, because I find the creams on these to be really creamy. So they're super blendable, easy to like just manipulate with your hands, get a nice seam, but that means they also kind of sheer out, and they leave something a little bit dimethicone, or you know, that kind of silicone feel on my lids. So I don't love wearing them alone for that reason. I just don't feel like they can really withstand being on my lids. So I definitely like topping them with something, but then because they kind of move around and are slippy, they don't make for the most long wearing eyeshadow stick if I'm gonna do that. So I feel like the shadow stick part of this just isn't my thing. And then when it comes to the stamp, again, I love the idea of it, but the actual like powder eyeshadow product that's in here, again, has more of a silicone dimethicone. It like sticks together. So it's not this loose dry powder. And so I find it really hard to, you know, dip in, you put it out, and then you try to dip in more. And I've just had trouble with all the ones that I've used picking up more product on my sponge. I just don't really get it on there. I guess you really just have to put the full lid on, and then you get a lot more product, but still, it's just not a lot coming out. It's just not my favorite. I really want to like them. I think the sparkle colors that are here, I love the colors. I love the multi-dimensional sparkle that's in here. There's like different shimmery little colors, like confetti sparkle, which you guys know I love. But the mechanism to get it out and to put it on, I don't find it like comes off the sponge as well as I'd like. So I don't know. They just are a bust for me, unfortunately. I think the idea is really fun, and maybe someone else can get them to work, but I just find them kind of troublesome. Like, they just aren't working for me. The other shadow sticks I have here, these are actually 2 new colors from the Jouer shadow stick line. There's a really pretty light blue called Mosaic, and then they also released a more neutral color called Beige Glitter, and the Beige Glitter one is actually a different formula. I do have them on today for this eye look, and I would say my favorite is the blue one. If you want a blue, icy blue, baby blue eyeshadow stick, I feel like this is kind of a fun, different color, and it gives me Bridgerton vibes. Like, I think it's really pretty, and I think especially if you have deeper skin than me, this is going to be even lighter on you, which I think is really fun. I've used it for my inner corner today, and I think it's pretty, but it's even a little bit deep for my inner corner. It can add a little bit more of a shadow than only light, so I topped over with some lighter pigments. But I find this to be like their normal eyeshadow stick formula, which I really like. It's like a shimmery metallic in the sense that it has some nice shine to it, but it's not foiled, and it's also not super sparkly. It's just a great formula. I love so many of the other colors, and I feel like the blue one works really well. These do lock down, but they take a little bit. So you have some time to play, and then once they do, they really, really lock down. So if you were specifically looking for a baby blue, this might be the one for you. Off the top of my head, I can't think of other shadow sticks, but of course there's baby blue eyeshadows. Like, this is not a must-have, at least not in my collection, but definitely fun. The Beige Glitter is not my favorite. Because of that glittery formula, this doesn't have that smooth, shimmering, metallic formula as the other ones or look. This has more of a pieced out sparkle to it, which you might think I would like because I do like sparkle like that, but I find this one, it just looks kind of chunky on my lids. The mica or whatever the pigment is, it's like that flat, not as sparkly piece. Like, I don't know, it just doesn't work. It reminds me of the Laura Mercier taupe sparkle or taupe shimmery one. Like, they have a taupe shade that specifically does what this does, and I didn't like that either. I just think it'd be a better formula without the glitter. I am wearing it today stay on my lids because I knew I was going over with another really shimmery shadow. And so in that way, it works fine. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't think that this is the one. There are so many other colors that are similar to this color, but then have a better formula to me. And then you can do a lot more with it. You can wear it on its own. You can wear it with like a satin on. You can just have more options than I feel like I have with this. So this one I don't recommend. You guys know I was so excited for the Persona eyeliners. There are 3 new shades and I really like this eyeliner formula. It's super creamy, but it also locks down in place. And I was specifically excited for the new shades because they're like perfect. Like these are like my favorites out of the whole line, to be honest, like color wise. There were 2 shimmery ones, which I'm a sucker for shimmery eyeliner. I love that. There's Stone and Graphite. Stone is more like a bronze, and then Graphite is more of a cool tone brown. I wouldn't even call it a gray. It's more like a cool tone gray brown. I really like these. They are more sheer if you decide to kind of like blend them out. They definitely sheer out and then you can kind of build up in layers. That's what I did today and what I've been doing. So I'll use these on my top lid and then use a brush to kind of blend them out and get a little bit of a wing going, some smoke going. I've definitely been enjoying these. And then the chocolate one is like a warm brown without being too warm. It's really, really pretty. I really like this when I want my blue eyes to pop. So I just love these. I think they're really, really nice. And again, once they lock down, like they lock down. They're very intense. So I've been into those. Those are $16 a piece. Those were sent to me. But the thing that I really love, you guys, this shouldn't be the showstopper. It is for me, but they came out with a sharpener when they came out with those liners, and this is so good. I love the sharpener. I literally went through and sharpened all my eyeliners because I love it that much. It's so good. This is replacing my Glossier Play sharpener, which I loved. I actually love the design of that one a little bit more. It's like almost Art Deco in the way that it was made. I felt like it just was simple, but also a really beautiful item for a sharpener of all things. But the lid cracked on that. So I'm so happy to have a replacement. And this is like double the size. I love that this has a container for all your product to go in. You can, you know, be sharpening for days before you have to change this thing out. So good. And $6. Highly recommend. Okay. This is like the one sharpener I need. Funny enough though, and I don't know, I almost feel like I must be the idiot here, but for the initial sharpen, not after, I can sharpen now that they've been sharpened once, but for the first sharpen, I couldn't get it to sharpen specifically the Persona eyeliners. Like, what the heck's up with that? I feel like I must be doing something wrong, or I don't know, there's something going on with that. And I feel like it must be my error, but that was my experience. Like the first sharpen, I couldn't get it to like catch. It was almost like the lip of the edge was too big to fully fit. But once I sharpened that with a different sharpener and then came back here, I can sharpen it fine. So weird. I don't know why, but that was my experience. Still absolutely love that sharpener and love the liners. Let's take a fragrance break, okay? I wanted to talk about a few fragrance type things in here. Even though this isn't my fragrance channel, I figured some of you who aren't that dedicated, that die hard for fragrance, might want to know about some of the new body mists that have come out, because body mists are going to be big this year. I'm telling you here and now. But this is Sol de Janeiro's newest body mist. This is the Cheirosa 59, and I love it. It is so good, you guys. If you're into vanillas, I think you're going to like this, okay? I think it smells so good. It's vanilla orchid, sugared violet, and sheer sandalwood. I don't find this personally to be too floral. I guess it is violety, like a purple flower, but I feel like there's enough sweetness and sugar in here and the sandalwood, which I like. And it's just so everyday and so nice. I would say compared to some of their other body mists, this one's actually not nearly as strong as some of the other ones. So you definitely can overspray. That might be a negative for you, but I really love using this when I'm just kind of like getting out of the shower or like hanging out at home, getting into bed. I mean, the perfect combination is getting out of the shower and then getting into bed. Ooh, this smells so good on your body. Yes, I love it. It smells just amazing. I mean, the dent is real. Highly recommend this for $38. I think it is great. I haven't tried the lotion, but I really love this. The other body mist I have here is from Ellis Brooklyn. This is Peaches, and this is exactly what it says, okay? It is a peach body mist. The Ellis Brooklyn body mists are a little more expensive. This is 3.38 fluid ounces, whereas the Sol de Janeiro one is 8 ounces, and this is $48. But I will say this is a glass bottle, so it's like elevated there for sure. And look at the sprayer. Ooh. It's like the soft clothes, but on a sprayer. And this is a really nice peach scent. If you like peach, you'd probably like this. It's fruity and musky, so it's not overly sweet. Still kind of light, bright, and airy. And it also has a bit of a showery kind of quality to it. So I like it. I think it's nice. Because it's musky, I also feel like it has a decent wear time on it for a body mist. You know, usually body mists don't really last a ton of time. They're one of like the lowest concentration of oils in a fragrance, but I like this. I think it's nice. I like the Ellis Brooklyn body mist quite a bit. I really love the scent Sun. That's probably my favorite. And last, for our little fragrance segment, I wanted to mention this candle from Sniff. I was sent this and I actually have a code with Sniff now. So if you don't know, Sniff is a fragrance brand. They've had some pretty viral hits, especially in 2023. They had their Crumb Couture, which is like a croissant smell. It's so good. I love that one. They've done some different collabs, but they have some perfumes and they also, again, have candles. And this is their newest one. It's called Big Flirt. Oh my gosh, I can't get it open. And I was excited for this because it was like a strawberry, chocolate, and I think champagne kind of smell. And I get all of that. I get the strawberry. It's kind of almost like a waxy, powdery strawberry. I get the chocolate. Luckily, it's not overly chocolatey. And I even get that champagne kind of bubbly freshness. It smells nice to burn. I don't hate it. I'll use it, but I'm not in love with it. I'm not in love like I thought. I feel like with all those fun notes, this could have really stood out and been something a little bit more, but I wanted more from this, to be honest. I wanted more, but I will say the candle that's my favorite, if you wanted to know, is the Half-Baked Pumpkin Smash. We're getting kind of out of the time for this because this is definitely a fall scent. Oh yeah, it's spicy, like pumpkin bread batter. What I love about this is that it is like a rich kind of foodie scent. I think a caramely pumpkin scent from Bath & Body Works, but then tone down the sweetness. Like it still is rich and it's really potent. This has a great scent throw, but it's not as sweet, like over the top sweet as that. It's so good. I love it. Don't get me wrong, it's still sweet, but it's more rich than it is sweet to me anyway. So I love this one. And again, I have a code with them. It's Lauren10. It saves you 10% off. It is affiliated, but if you're ever shopping at Sniff, you can use that, save some money. Okay, and that concludes the fragrance portion of the video. Again, if you want more fragrance content, go check me out on Lauren May Fragrance. You will love it over there. For me, it feels like we've been here a long time. How are there more products in front of me? How do more products in this world exist? I don't know, but they do. Okay, this is from Jouer, and I love Jouer products, so I wanted to try the new hair gloss. This is supposed to treat your damaged hair, protect your color. It's supposed to give you a nice glossy look, and it's supposed to happen in the shower. So I was excited for this. I followed the directions, okay? I've done it a couple ways, but I followed the directions on this where you're supposed to clean your hair, remove the excess water, separate your hair into 2-inch sections, and apply a pea-sized amount. Now for me, pretty easy. I don't have a ton of hair, so 2-inch sections. I mean, you know, I'm really just quartering my head up at that point. It says put it in from mid-length to ends, comb through, leave it in. So I, you know, scrub my body, do my other stuff, and then rinse it out. And then you're supposed to have best results when you use a heat tool. So did that, nothing, not a gloss in sight. I mean, my hair wasn't any better. And don't get me wrong, I am not the like hair candidate, the best hair candidate, but that makes me feel like I'm really giving it a true test, you know what I mean? But I didn't find that this put any gloss in my hair. It's a glorified conditioner, and I don't even feel like the best conditioner at that, okay? Like, I don't even feel like it conditioned my hair that great. So I don't understand this. I don't think it's doing literally anything. I think it's like $30. Do not waste your money on that. Do not waste your money. The Jisoo hair products, okay, so good. Even for my hair, so good. Okay, moving on to some blush options. I tried out the Say Do blush in the shade Baby, which is like a newer one. I want to say this came out limited in a holiday set and then they brought it back full size. And this is that baby cool tone pink we've been seeing literally everywhere, like everywhere. But there's something about this one that really does it for me. I really love this. And this is like a true like cool tone pink. It almost looks kind of purpley, but it blends out really nice. It has a nice sheerness to it, but I also feel like you can build it up. It is the Dew Blush formula, so it has more of a dewy finish on it. But I find when I use my brush, so I'll like dot it on and I'll use my BK Beauty, what do I love? The Angie Hot and Flashy A507. And I find this picks up some of the moisture, so it's not as dewy, and it really leaves behind almost like a sheen of, I don't want to say a greasy sheen because you don't feel that, but it has more of a sheen to it than feeling balmy, feeling heavy, feeling moisturizing on my cheeks. So I don't find any issues with that, but I love the color. It's really bright. It's really fun. It's on trend. I've been absolutely loving it, especially because I've been doing a lot of like baby pink looks, just kind of monochromatic. I've been loving that on the eyes. I've been loving that on the lips. I've been loving it on the cheeks. And I think this is a really great option. I know there are tons out there, but if you were looking, this one is really great. A blush formula I did not like is from Purlisse. They did send me the whole line, which I'm again very grateful for, but these are best I think for someone with dry skin. If you have dry skin and you're looking for a cream that has more of that balmy moisturizing consistency, these might be perfect for you. I just find whenever I wear these, I feel like I have almost like a lip balm on my cheeks. Like it has that kind of feel on the cheeks, and I'm already oily. I just don't feel like it works with the rest of my skin and like foundation and all of that. And I always want a little bit more color pick pay off, and so then that makes me want to add more product, but the more product I add, the more of that balmy consistency is on my skin. So I don't think it's a bad product overall, but definitely didn't work for me, and I would suggest these to someone with drier skin who likes that kind of formula in a blush. And last for blush from Tom Ford, I picked this up because it was so cute. I just wanted it. I just thought it was so pretty. This was like a Valentine's Day kind of collection from Tom Ford, and it's the shade Love Scene, and you can see there's like a heart imprint in here. Just really beautiful. This is $95, so no, it's not worth it. Like, it's really not. It's a solid blush formula, don't get me wrong. This is kind of a peachy neutral color with a little bit of a gold sheen. It's like a very subtle gold sheen, which I really like because that peach gold flip can sometimes be a little too harsh, I feel like, at least on me, where I just don't like it flashing gold so strong. This one's just subtle enough, really, really pretty, but in that way, it's also nothing necessarily special. It's just a pretty cute blush. I mean, I have a huge collection, but you know, this is definitely something that someone could wear every day, all the time, tons of looks, get a lot of use out of in that way, but it's not a must-have by any means. I'm definitely not sitting here being like, I know it's expensive, but you should get it. Like, that's not how I feel about this blush. It's just an expensive blush formula in a pretty basic color with a cute little imprint for a lot of money, okay? If it's within your budget, or maybe you want to treat yourself, it might be something nice, but definitely, again, not a must-have. All right, I have some mascaras here. One, I want to update you on the Charlotte Tilbury one. This is the Push-Up Lashes, but specifically it's the berry brown color. So this is a brown mascara, but it definitely goes more burgundy, goes more berry than just brown. Like, there's a lot of red to this. I feel like, especially in the light, this looks like I'm wearing like a colorful mascara, okay? Like, it's pretty red looking on me. I like it in some ways because it really does bring out the blue in my eyes, but it doesn't give me quite as much definition as I would like. And I like the Push-Up Lashes mascara. Like, I've tried a sample size of this, but this wand is so goopy and it's very dry going on. It gives me nice separation overall, but sometimes you can get those dry dingleberries. Like, I don't know if this one's worth it. There's part of me that thinks it's very unique, and for the right person, I think it could work, or if you want that for every now and then. Today I'm wearing it, but then I went over with a little bit of a black just to add a little more definition. So I like it, but when I got this, I was hoping for more of like a brown mascara, not a brown black, like a real brown. So I'm okay with a little less definition than black, but not necessarily as red as that one goes. You know what I mean? So it's okay. I don't mind it, but it's definitely a very burgundy brown mascara, okay? The mascara that is killer and so good, you guys, is from Cali Ray. This is just a sample, but it is great. It's called Come Hell or High Water. Let me get you a price on this. It's $24. The Charlotte Tilbury one is $29, so this is cheaper than that. And this is a tubing mascara. Now, traditionally, tubing mascaras to me have been very wet. So when you put them on, all your lashes come together. Like, the tubing benefits are outweighed by the actual look of the mascara on your lashes. Like, yeah, I don't want atrocious looking lashes just so that it's tubing, you know what I mean? But this one has done such a good job of, I feel like, having great length, having great volume, while also being a tubing mascara. When you take this off at night, it really comes off in those tubes and is pretty easy to remove overall, but no smudging throughout the day at all, And so this is great for my under lashes. This was on a whole day at Disneyland, okay? And this stayed on, no smudging. I looked great with my mascara. I couldn't believe it. So Come Hell or High Water is correct. And again, I love that I get nice length, I get nice volume. I mean, I feel like they look separated and nice. Sometimes they can get a little spider leg, they can get a little long at the end, so watch out for that. I tend to do like 2 coats max, but I really like it. Super black, easy to remove, but also, again, really the benefits are no smudging throughout the day. So if you're looking for a no smudging mascara, this might be one to try. Just don't be freaked out from the tubes, the little tubes coming off, because those really do look like spider legs. Last couple of skincare products. I wanted to put in this Daily Milk Foliant from Dermalogica. I got this in one of the advent calendars. I've been like slowly exploring different products from all the different calendars I've got, and I love this, you guys. It's disgusting. It is let me scare you for a second. Let's close that up. Oh my gosh. I keep this in my shower and I absolutely love it. Like I said, I've been really trying to keep my skin barrier intact, really like keep it nice on my skin. And this is a powder that you can use to really gently exfoliate your skin. There's also some chemical exfoliation going on with this, but again, it's very, very gentle overall. Once you add water to this, it really gets kind of milky and frothy, and it has like oats in here ground up, and it smells like oats, and it definitely looks like baby spit up, to be honest. But with the oats, you can also take it to be more like a homemade mask, like oat mask type of thing. So I kind of like, I don't know, I've grown to like it, even though it kind of grosses me out. And I really like the way this exfoliates. It's so, so gentle. I get a little bit of physical exfoliation, but again, there's a little bit of chemical going on as well without being too harsh. So I love this. This is $66 for the full price, so it's so expensive, but to be honest, I genuinely love it, and I genuinely feel like it's doing something for my perioral dermatitis, so I've been loving that. The other skincare sample I've been testing out is from Pharmacy. This is the reformulated version of their Honeymoon Glow AHA Resurfacing Serum, which I loved, okay? That thing would make you look so glowy, so smooth after using it. Just one night, and your skin looked so good the next morning. So that being said, this is the 17% Resurfacing Acid Serum. It's the Honey Glow, and I've been keeping it very sparse with the actives I've been using it, but I've used this about 5-ish times. They say you could use this 4 to 5 times a week, and I just feel like, at least for my skin, way too much. This one definitely burns me more than the other one. Like, I had tingling and definitely some heat from the other one, but this one I got more of like a real burning that was like, damn, this feels more. But then I didn't feel like I got the same results of that glow and that really smooth skin in the morning. I didn't get that as much, so I just feel like this is the worst version of that product. Like, I really do. Like, it burns more and has less results to me anyway. So I'm really sad that they discontinued the other one for this one. I really feel like it's an inferior formula, an inferior product, and I don't know the reasons why they got rid of that one. I don't know if it was just costing too much to produce that one. I don't know why they reformulated, but it's okay, but I don't find it as good, and it doesn't make me want to necessarily stick to this product, at least not at this point. Segueing us from skincare into foundations, I have this kind of hybrid product from Iris and Romeo. This is a new brand at Sephora, and so when I saw them on the site, I wanted to try this kind of whipped tinted moisturizer. This has SPF 30 in it. It's supposed to have dewy coverage. It's a 5-in-1 skincare kind of item, and the texture on this is definitely whipped. It's interesting, very different, and I'm still kind of torn about this, but I would say overall I actually really quite like this. Although it says dewy coverage, I actually find this to just be kind of skin-like. My favorite way to wear this is actually no primer. This is really a product for me, very similar actually to how I use the Super Goop, I would say, the tinted Super Goop that I love so much. I use these products on days when I'm not necessarily looking to do a full face. Maybe I'll add some concealer, maybe I'll do a little bit more, but it's really just like I'm running errands, I'm doing other things, but I want to look a little more put together. I really like this on those days, so no primer, no anything underneath, just regular skincare. I like applying this with my hands. They, I think, suggest that, and I do find that's the best way to apply this, just because it's so whipped, it kind of helps get that product onto your face. I have shade 2 here, but I actually think shade 3 might be better for me, especially as we get into summer. I get a little bit more tan, but what I like about this is that I do feel like it kind of sets itself. So once I blend it in, it has a little bit of time to be on my skin. It sets and it almost becomes, I don't know if grippy is the right word, but it still moves. It's not dried down, but it's also not like slipping around like other things I wear sometimes. So I like that, and I like to just keep a light layer. I don't do too much. It's not there to give me a ton of coverage. It's just there to like even me out, and then I can go in with other products to do that if I have some spots or whatever. The vocal fry. Anyway, it's pretty nice, especially too when I add this with like a setting mist and a little bit of powder. I feel like I get some really good all day wear on it, and I've been noticing sometimes less is more with product. Like, because I'm so oily, it can be tempting to want to like really pack on the powders, really pack on everything, but I find sometimes that just makes me produce more oil, or at least when I do produce my oil, it just looks heavy and cakey and kind of like clay-like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not dry dirt, it's clay. And I kind of like that this more minimal routine routine, I find holds up really well and doesn't get that way. So I've been enjoying it overall. I think it's nice. The reservation I have is that some days I've worn this and I haven't loved it as much. So I'm not sure what products are doing that, what's the reason, but I would say overall, really been liking it. I've been tempted to buy the other shade. So I know I like it enough because I'm even thinking that. So I've actually been enjoying that. Kind of weird, a little bit different of a product and texture, but I think it works nice. I wanted to mention this foundation, even though I don't have like a full on review. So take this with a grain of salt. These were sent to me from Makeup Forever, but it's the new HD Skin Hydro Glow. I have the shades 1Y00 and 1N06. I don't know if the N is supposed to stand for neutral, and then 1 is definitely more warm toned, yellow toned. So I feel like both of these are pretty good matches, maybe a little bit dark for me at this moment, but I think come summer, these are gonna be pretty nice for me. My initial thoughts on this is what I'm wearing today, and I applied it over top my primer from Hourglass that I love so much, and I used a brush today, and I don't know, the brush just applied it a little bit heavy, to be honest. I didn't really love that, but I was hoping, because this is a more dewy finish foundation, I was hoping the brush would give me a little less shine and a little more coverage than if I used a sponge. I don't know if that was the move. I definitely need to try a sponge, maybe even a different primer, because sometimes primers can just get weird on my nose. Like, they help to smooth things out, but then at the same time, it can like emphasize my pores in the weirdest way even more. So anyway, with that being said, and it looking kind of heavy even on my skin right now, I still have some high hopes. I feel like I just need to try it a few more ways, and even though it's a little bit dewy, I don't feel like it like breaks down in the way other dewy, oily foundations can. So I'm still testing. I feel like I'm in the middle though at the moment, but more thoughts to come. I just wanted to give you some swatches and even just some first thoughts on that in case you've been seeing this around. And then kind of finishing up base products, I did want to touch on this Lawless powder. I picked this up, I want to say during maybe one of the sales like a while ago. I've had this a while, but this is in the shade Fair. It's a talc-free powder. This retails for $39, so it's definitely not cheap, especially considering I want to say these are like 38? No, they have to be 48. Okay, yeah, these are $47, so $10 more than the powder, but this has medium coverage. It definitely gives you some coverage, so if you want that from a powder, maybe you want to use a lighter foundation and then get some coverage from your powder, I think this could be nice. I find this also a little bit heavy. It's finely milled, and it definitely smooths, and I feel like on camera looks a lot more blurring and everything, but in real life, as much as it doesn't look bad, I'm not obsessed with it. And I find the coverage, even like as much as I can like that when I want it, if I am going for something lightweight, I don't like setting with this because I feel like it kind of adds too much coverage in one area and I don't want it to be uneven. So I think it has a purpose for me, but it's a little bit more specific in when I want to use it. And I definitely prefer my thinner, lightweight, loose powder. Those can mattify, give me the smoothing effect, that blurring effect, but they're a little bit lighter and not as heavy looking on my skin. So not my favorite, but I don't think it's the worst. I just feel like I definitely feel more made up when I wear this, even when I have a lighter foundation on. Okay, I'm really hoping highlighters are coming back, you guys, because I've already picked up 2 for the year. One is from Pat McGrath. You guys have seen this, and I really wanted to see if this highlighter was different than the other highlighters she's released, and spoiler, it's not. Okay, it's like the same freaking thing, same color, pretty same texture. Like, they're all essentially the same with different names. So this one's called Nude Opal. Beautiful imprint. I do really like this highlighter. It has nice shine. It has a little bit of a deeper red base on it. Not too deep for me, but I like to wear it kind of sheer because of that. There is only one shade of this, but she has her like regular highlighters. I just think these are so pretty, but they're expensive. They're $62. If you're looking for this and you haven't picked up one of the other highlighters she's done like this, I would suggest it. I think it's nice, but I would wait for it to go half off. I feel like she's always having sales. It'll make it there, or you can even pick up probably one of her older highlighters, which again, they're all the same, and save a little bit of money on it, because I just feel like that $62 price point is pretty steep. The other highlighter though is from Iconic London. This is the Lit and Luminous highlighter in the shade Universal, so only one shade again. I don't know how universal this shade would actually be, so I wish that they just came out with more, just because I feel like why not have a few more shades? But what I loved about this was that it's a baked highlighter. I love a baked powder. I just think that it's really flattering. And this one definitely has some shine to it, okay? I don't like to use too much. A brush I've really been loving with it. This one's from Singe Beauty, Angie's brand. This was actually sent to me as PR, but this has like an angle on it and I've really been liking that. I just tap it in and just apply it very gently. You can get a shine going if you go too heavy, so I definitely like a more sheer application for that shine. It does give me some texture, so it's not my favorite favorite baked highlighter. I feel like the Bobbi Brown ones are a little bit more forgiving. They give that luminosity with a little bit of a softness, you know what I mean? So it gives more of a diffused look, whereas this one's a little bit more high shine, a little more harsh, but still really pretty nonetheless. Like I still really like it. So happy to see it, and hopefully we see some more highlighters in the future. Okay, the last couple of things I really want to review for you guys. I have some eyeshadows. So one here is a palette from NARS. This is the Afterglow Irresistible palette, and I don't know, I think it was the packaging, and also I have some great experience with one of the past palettes from NARS that came out for summer, so I wanted to give this a try. And although I think the color story is really pretty, it's pretty monochromatic overall. It's pretty mid-toned, I would say, overall as well. For $60, I don't know. I do like the NARS formula overall. Although I will say this shade and these 3 shades on the side, I thought they were going to be kind of pressed, and even this one actually too. I thought they were going to be more pressed shadows, but they almost look like they were poured in here. Like there's something about it that doesn't feel like a normal pressing of an eyeshadow. I don't know if the formula itself was more of a cream or liquid when it went in and then they pressed it, but it's not quite the same. And for how shimmery I want these to be, they just don't have the sparkle that honestly they should. Okay, there's a dullness to these sparkles, and that's kind of disappointing as well. So I don't know. I mean, I said the formulas are good. I mean, the mattes are really good. I just don't think it's NARS' best work. And they also come out with this type of stuff all the time, and some I feel like are really good, and then some are like not. And I feel like this one goes more into the okay category. Like, you can just save your $60, okay? You can save your $60. All right, last for eyeshadow. This is from Moira, and it's a single shadow. This is the Chroma Light shadow. I have the shade here, Sugar Crush 05, which I felt like was really similar to Space Cowboy from Urban Decay, and these shadows looked like kind of dupes. Like, Moira does a lot of duping. They have like cream blushes like the Tower 28 ones. I don't know, they just tend to do what feels like dupes of other things out there, and they're very affordable. And in the past, they've had some great shimmer products, so I was really excited for this. And I do like this. I think it's a decent dupe for Urban Decay Space Cowboy, although I just still say go with Space Cowboy, to be honest. The shimmer in here is sparkly, don't get me wrong, but it's not the same shine that I get from the Urban Decay. I think the Urban Decay still has an airiness about it, like a more ethereal quality about it, whereas with the Moira powder shadow, it has a little more base pigment to it. It's a little bit more powdery overall, I would say. And so I just feel like the sparkle doesn't shine quite as much, although it's what's on my lids today, so it's still sparkly for sure, and I still think it's really nice. But if you're buying it specifically as a dupe for the Urban Decay, I would just go with the Urban Decay. But if you're buying it just because you want a sparkly fun eyeshadow, I think it's still a great product. Last kind of comparisons between Space Cowboy and the Moira shadow, just because I feel like people want them. The Moira shadow has more of like a red base to it, like a warm red base, whereas the Urban Decay one has more of like a yellowy orange, so it doesn't really go into the red. It's a lighter base on it, and then they both have that kind of silver, cooler sparkle on top of the warmth, which I think is just so pretty and a nice contrast. So it's nice. I wish it just wasn't quite as powdery, but for the price, you really can't beat it. There are quite a few other colors as well. I definitely want to try some of those out, so I think it's a solid release. All right, for this last portion, I wanted to just shout out some collabs because I feel like there have been a few collabs and I haven't been able to make full videos on them, and I've just been testing so much stuff, but I wanted to give a little shout out to the creators, and I also wanted to give just some swatches in case. Some of them are like, I don't know if you can even still get them, but I'm gonna put them in here anyway. Why not make the video longer, you know? First, I wanted to shout out Dee over on Instagram. She collabed with Bella Beauté Bar and came out with the Ultraviolet palette. I wanted to get this and support her collab. I also haven't tried anything from Bella Beauté Bar before, so okay, my camera shut off because my battery died. That's a sign, okay? It's getting long, but Deandra's palette, look at this. It is all purple, you guys, and I'm excited to play with it. Some pops of color. We have purple of all different shades, textures, colors, tones, so very, very excited for that and excited for her. I believe this sold out, but I think they're taking pre-orders, so I will leave that link down below. Then you guys know that Oden's Eye came out with their legendary Diversa collection part 2, so we have Tina, Annette, and Judy all back for another round of collabs. Each did a palette, but not only that, they also did some lip colors, so I wanted to give you some swatches. Like I said, I've been testing so much. I'm trying to find the balance here, but I definitely wanted to shout them out, say congratulations to all of them. I think it's so fun that they got to come back and do a part 2, so I will leave this down below. I do have a code with Oden's Eye, and you can't use the code on collabs, but if you ever shop on Oden's Eye, you can use the code Lauren to save some money. But let's get into a few swatches. Starting off with Tina's palette, this is the Earthwood palette, and this has some neutrals, but it also has some greens. There's a purple, a pop of coral, so really fun. For the lip products in Tina's collection, there there are 2 Shine and 1 Glow formula. The Glow is called Creativity. It's kind of a peachy translucent color, and it also has some sparkle in it. And then Shine Encore is like a warm caramely brown, really, really pretty. And Brilliance is a coral shade. Annette came with the Mighty Monsters palette, and this has a snake on there. And in here, I feel like you're getting the brightest colors out of everything. Judy's palette has color, but it's more pastel. These almost have a more primary kind of look to them. And then there is a multi-chrome, I want to say, in this, and I want to say in Tina's. For Annette's 3 lip colors, the Glow is called Breath of Fire, and this is more of a corally peach, and again, it has that shimmer in here. Then there's Shine Kiss Snake. This one's also kind of caramely, but I feel like it has a little more almost rose in it. And then there's Mythic Rose, which is like a rose shade, which I really love that color. And then last here is Judy's palette. This is the Spring Dragon palette, and like I said, this one is more pastel overall, so lots of lighter shades in here, very like light springtime, very Judy. I think this palette really suits her and the looks and types of makeup that she likes, so I think that's really fun she got to do this. As for her 3 lip shades, she has 1 matte, so the only matte in the collection, and this is more of that kind of powdery clay matte. It's a dusty kind of rosy pink, and it is called Tulips. And then for the 2 Shine shades, there's Dahlia, which is a brighter, again, kind of a poppy color. And then Buttercup is a glossy kind of peachy coral. So again, congrats to them, and if you want to check out their collection, I will leave that down below. And then last but not least, I wanted to shout out Kaki's collection with Finding Ferdinand. Unfortunately, but not, also congrats to selling it out. I don't know how much of this is available, if anything. This collab went fast, just like her first one, so I hope you got what you wanted, but I wanted to swatch this out just in case. I believe you can kind of make custom colors on the Finding Ferdinand website, and I think I saw that they were gonna like release the color numbers that these are if you wanted to order them after the fact. I'm pretty sure that's correct information. Anyway, there are 5 different blushes in the collection. I believe Sunset is the lightest. This one is like a neutral cool pink. I believe all these have more of like a cool tone to them. Then there's High Noon, which is like a rosy dusty pink to me. Dusk is like a mauve kind of berry shade. My favorite is Cozy. It looks like it's gonna be berry, but it comes off way more hot pink, and I feel like if you're not into the jelly, the milk jelly blush tints, this gives me that bright pop, but in a different formula. This isn't like a stain, but it kind of looks like a stain on the cheeks. I think it's so, so pretty, and I love that brightness. I just think it adds a nice, youthful, juicy look. But last year, this one is the shade Chilled, which is like a purpley plum color. So those are the blushes, and she came out with blushes in her last collection too, so tons of color options there. And with the collection, there were also 3 different lip glosses. There's Haute Cocoa, there's Mulled Wine, and then Cafe Noisette, and these all smell like what they should. So the coffee one smells like coffee, the hot cocoa one has a hot cocoa smell, and the mulled wine also has that kind of spicy holiday mulled wine smell. So I think that's really, really fun. These are all glossy and have a nice opacity to them. They're not like super sheer, but they're also not fully opaque. Definitely some interesting neutral colors, and I think the red really fits, again, the theme. So congratulations to Kaki. I will leave these down below if I can link them still, if there happens to be anything available, but I'll put the Finding Ferdinand website down below. And that's gonna conclude this long video. I have no lip gloss on, even though I reapplied it in the video. It's gone, guys. That's how long we've been here. If you made it this far, thanks for hanging out. I hope this was a helpful video. I know it was mammoth, but I'm hoping that the timestamps will be helpful. If you just wanted a ton of makeup chatting in the background, I hope I did it for you. But let me know any of your thoughts. Do you have some reviews on here? Do you have some different opinions on these products? I'd love to know. Let me know what you want to see me review next. And other than that, I'm leaving. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys.